welcome to today's episode of Afro Scientific Spirituality. My name is Hermes West. If this is your first time on the channel, you're highly welcome. This is a place where we separate the facts from the fiction, the science from the superstitions, and the concept from the misconceptions about African spirituality. Today, I am going to be talking about a very important subject. This is the god, the Egyptian god that we call Jehuti or Thoth the Atlantean. This deity is a very powerful deity in the world. He is regarded as the god of wisdom, the god of writing, the god of magic, and he is said to be the one responsible for all the wisdom we have in the world today. And he even taught the gods how to write. Thoth the Atlantean, or God Thoth, is also called Jehuti. Okay, it is one of the chief patrons in this very channel today. He's my very good friend. Today I want to talk about him, and I'll be talking about some of his great works, especially the Hermetic Principles, the 7 Hermetic Principles of manifestation, and how you can be able to use these principles for manifesting anything you want in your life: wealth, prosperity, happiness, anything you want. He was responsible for writing the book called the Hermetic Tablets of Thoth. This is a book that everybody that is practicing African spirituality must read. If you are on this channel, you want to learn African spirituality, you want to know about the way the ancient Kemites practice their own spirituality. You want to know, these are so-called Kemetic people I'm learning about. How did they practice their spirituality? What were they doing? What is the body of their spiritual knowledge? You need to know about Thoth, because Thoth was the originator of the spiritual knowledge of the ancient Kemetic, the ancient Kemites. He was the one that compiled them, expanded them, and brought them out. So all the wisdom of the ancient world was responsible to this god. You always see him, he has the head of Iblis bird and the pen in his hand. He's always writing. This is why you see me always holding my own pen, because I'm trying to emulate thoughts. He's always writing things down. He's always expanding, explaining. He is the chief patron of this channel. For people that don't know, that is very well on this channel, is well represented here. And I am very proud to say I am a student of Thoth. He taught me many things. Okay, he's the god of wisdom. If you want wisdom, you want prosperity, you want power, wisdom, of course, is power. Okay, it's not power of oppressing people. It's power to live your life and manage your life efficiently and effectively. If you want to know how to manage your life effectively, you need to venerate this deity. That is why I venerate this deity. Today, I want us to talk about him. Okay, you're going to know a lot about this god from this work, the Hermetic Tablet of Thoth. You're going to read where he told the story of how they came to this planet. Thoth claimed that in this book that he came from the Atlantis continent before it was destroyed. He came to ancient Egypt and he settled there, and he started teaching the ancient Africans the wisdom that he brought from Atlantis. He came with his own people. You're going to read this book, you're going to see a lot of things. He talked about African people. He talked about the men from the north. He talked about magic. He talked about different aspects of spirituality. And he talked about the pyramids, space travel, time travel, quantum physics, a lot of things. Talk about how we should live our life. He taught men so many things, okay? And he lived for thousands of years. So the Hermetic Tablet is a book that every African person need to read. It is free to download on the internet, okay? It's free to download. You don't need to buy it. This Hermetic Tablet have volume 1, volume 2. But so far, we only have volume 1. We heard that the volume 2 was locked up in the British vaults, that the white people don't want people to know what is inside. They have decided to hide the volume 2 from the general public. So that other tablet is still under the lock and key of the so-called Egyptologists, who we know are only in Egypt to steal things for themselves. So every tablet, Thoth wrote it. It's a very powerful book. You must read it. Then another book again is responsible for is the 7 Hermetic Principles. Okay, these are the principles of the philosophy we call Hermetism. The ancient Egyptians, their spiritual system is called Hermetic spirituality, Hermetism. In this Hermetism, it is a system that talks about how to strengthen the spirits of man, and it contains the body of the spiritual practice of the ancient Egyptian people. When you study Hermetism, you learn about how to train your mind through meditation, ritual practices, awareness exercise, imagination, and correct thinking. And you have certain beliefs that all things are formed from pure consciousness, and the force that the universe is a force of pure goodness, and the divine can be seen in everybody and everything, and you have to respect the forces of nature to find wisdom. I have said this thing many times on this channel. You have to live in harmony with nature. You don't try to conquer nature or try to destroy nature. You must find a way to live in harmony with it in order to get wisdom. Then you have to see that there have to be equality in gender and races. This is not present in the world today. Then the philosophy is also based on the 4 elements of earth, fire, air, and water. This is the elements of the world. Everything in the world is made of these 5 elements, including us human beings. You must understand these 5 elements and how they interact, so that you can know how to manipulate them and how to interact with them. Okay. You have to encourage self-mastery by the cultivation of virtue, of good character. I have talked about the crook and the fray, the Kemetic tree of life, the tree of stiffness, and the tree of mercy. This is where they copy the Kabbalistic and tree of life from. This is the body of Egyptian spiritual knowledge. And you should also know about the awareness of science, that science and religion go together. What they're trying to mean here is science and spirituality go together. Okay. Then Hermetic Principles also teaches that the soul is immortal. Okay, and can be can exist in multiple realms. Then they consider that the essence of humanity is to get experience on this life, that humanity is on a spiritual journey to return to a state of unity and with all, and to do the great work. These are the fundamental principles of Hermetism. This is the principle that the ancient Egyptians practice. Okay, then when we go deeper, we can see that he was able to outline 7 Hermetic principles for living life. Okay, these 7 Hermetic principles is what I really want to talk about today, because they are the fundamental principles of nature. And for you to live a very good life, a very productive life, you need to know how to apply these principles to anything you are doing, because these principles do not change. Okay, they are fundamental, they are part of us, and they are part of the universe. It doesn't change. So you need to know how to tap into it. Then you take advantage of it. Then you can use it to live your life. I use these principles every day. I use it for different things, and I am going to explain these principles for you, and why you need to know them, and why you need to be using them. Okay, these 7 principles. The first is mentalism. The principle of mentalism believes that everything exists first in the mental plane before they manifest in the physical plane, and it asserts that everything exists as a thought before you carry out an action, you need to think about it first. Okay, so meaning that thought have to exist before it comes to physical manifestation. So your thoughts are seeds. So you need to think of planting positive seeds in your mind, which is a garden. So the kind of thoughts you carry in your head matters a lot. Okay, they are seeds, they have life, they have power, they grow, they find expression, and they manifest. Before people do good acts, evil acts, they already have been thinking about it, contemplating about it. Then before you see them acting it out, it's already in their mind. So you need to guide your thoughts, and it will guide you. And you need to know how to think, the right thinking, the right information you put in your brain, you install into your operating system matters a lot. Part of the reason I'm doing this teaching, trying to explain this stuff, demystify stuff for us so we can understand it and get our mind straight. Many of us want wealth, but we don't know how to think right. So we still attaching our mind to religion, to beliefs that don't serve for superstitious belief, Nollywood belief. We have to be very, very practical and conscious in our thought process. Okay, so there are many more things to come. The second principle is the principle of correspondence, which states that as above, so below, as within, so without. That there are physical, mental, and spiritual planes of existence, and these planes do not separate. Many people think that the spirit world is separate from the physical world. It's a big lie. They are all interlinked. They are all existing at the same time. Okay, they are not separate. They are all together. You just need to know what to focus on. So there is a correspondence among them. The physical, the mental, and the spiritual. They are overlapping with each other. Let me use the word overlapping. They are all together. Okay, so they are not separate. Don't let anybody deceive you. You can be able to align with all of them at the same time. For you to carry out a successful action to fruition, your spirit, body, soul, mind, everything need to be in total alignment. Okay? You cannot be thinking one thing, trying to get them. Your mind is in somewhere else. You want money, but you are doubting yourself, you are doubting your capability and ability, or you do some business or you're expecting that to get something, but your mind is telling you that you're not going to get it. Your mind and your spirit are not in agreement, in alignment. It's a big problem. You need to know how to bring your mind, body, and soul to alignment in everything you are doing. There's a principle of correspondence that is very, very active. Okay. Number 3 is the principle of vibration. It states that nothing rests, everything is always in constant movement and vibration. This is the origin of physics as we know it today. Okay, kinetic physics or quantum physics. Everything is always vibrating, everything is always in motion, everything have a spirit. Okay, and you either vibrate in state of harmony or you vibrate in a state of chaos. Okay, this is within your control. So you can choose how you want to react to things. You can choose the kind of state of mind that you want to have all the time. This is under your control. You need to know this, that this is under your control. You should not allow other people to be influencing you unnecessarily. You should not allow yourself to be distracted. Today we see a lot of distractions. You go out, you see everything in the world is fighting for your attention. All the religion is fighting for your attention. All the advertisement, from toothbrush to new phone to new car, fighting for your attention. A lot of beautiful women out there dressing provocatively to fight for your attention. A lot of men trying to impress you unnecessarily, fighting. Everybody is fighting for your attention. Okay? If you are somebody that have a weak mind, you will just be jumping from place to place. You will not be focused in life. You need to know how to focus. Okay, you need to know how to accept yourself, your will upon this planet, your will upon this earth. So you need to know that everything is in constant motion, including you. So you should not be just running after things unnecessarily. You should be focused in your goals, in what you are doing, and other things as well. Okay. We also have the principle of polarity. Some people call this duality, and everything have negative and positive Everything that is hot can also be cold. We have light and darkness. We have good and evil. We cannot have one without the other. Okay? The absence of one is the presence of another. We have these degrees in this stuff. So, what appears as dualism is a kind of unity in disguise, because we are all connected in this great circle that is going on. Then, what you only see is that there's a degree closest to light, a degree closest to the darkness. It's like a thermometer in a way. So when does hot start and where does cold begins? You need to find the degree of everything, and you need to know how to respond to it. Okay, everything is connected in this life, both the good and the bad. It's all connected. You need to know this, and you need to understand this thing objectively. Okay, the belief that all truths are truths there, but we have hard truths and false truths, and there are two sides of everything. Okay, opposites are identical in nature, but are different in degree. Extreme meets, and all paradox can be reconciled. Okay, this is what it believes. So you need to try to understand these principles, so you don't clash with other people. Or you try to understand nature and understand behavior and situations in a certain way. Okay, then number 5, the principle of rhyme. This principle states that there's manifested measured motion, a kind of flow in the universe, like pendulum. The principle enables the transition from one pole to another. Seasons change, so everything have time. What is trying to tell you that there's time for everything. You now need to know the time that will be best for certain things and the time that will not be best. So we have time for planting, time for harvest, time for resting, time for walking, time for enjoyment. And if you can understand this rhyme and flow with the rhyme, you can be able to, life will be much more easier for you. Let me put it that way. There's a time for planting. Springtime is always time for planting, beginning of things, or time for preparing, and time for harvest. So you cannot be using time for planting to try to harvest something. It will not work. Time that you start setting up a business is not the time that you want to be putting hand into that business again, to be taking the money that you need to be using to be growing that business. You need to keep it for a time whereby you start reaping profit. You need to understand how things work. Okay, so we have this principle. Then 6th principle of cause and effects. Okay, this principle states that for every action there's a reaction. Every effect have an also after effect. Okay, by changing our moods or characters, qualities, and powers, we become masters of ourselves by dominating our mood, by not allowing things to control us. Okay, so we need to find a way to take control, greater control of our life. Okay, anything we are doing, we need to learn how to become masters of ourselves by knowing ourselves. Okay, so know thyself is very, very important. Then the final principle, the principle of gender. And the principle states that everything have a male and a female. Okay, in order to bring balance, we have two principal energies in this head, which are the masculine and feminine energy. Okay, and need to be in harmony together. Example is the yin yang. I have talked about the Ouroboros before. Then you need to understand the nature of the feminine energy and also the nature of the masculine energy, so you know what you want to focus on more. There are some people that are very, very hot. You might need to focus more on the cooler energies to cool you. There's some people that are very, very cool. You might need some hotness in your life. You need to know what to focus on to bring balance into your life. Okay, feminine energies conduct, and they work to generate new thoughts, ideas, and concepts. They include the work of the imagination and the subconscious. While masculine energy leans in the direction of giving, making or expressing. Okay, without the feminine, the masculine is have to act without restraint, resulting in chaos. The feminine alone is have to constantly reflect and fail to actually do anything, resulting in stagnation. With both the masculine and feminine working in conjunction and cooperation, there is thoughtful action that breeds success, which shows that both the feminine and the masculine fulfill each other. Okay, so you need to know that there need to be balance in your life, in everything you are doing. There, you acknowledge the masculine and feminine energy or attributes. Okay, so these hermetic 7 hermetic principles are very, very powerful principles that everybody need to incorporate into their life. In magic, we expand further into these principles and use them for spiritual manifestation. We do this with a lot of alchemical principles. We do this with a lot of alchemical formulas to be able to do a lot of spell working, spell casting. So you're going to see these principles that are very effective. In Western occultism, this is what they teach to their students. When you hear of Western secret societies, Freemasons, Rosicrucian, Skulls and Bones, this hermetic principle are the secrets that they are teaching to their people so that their students or their members can be able to be applying these principles to their life, so their life will be more uh, uh, productive than you. That's why you see a lot of people in secret societies. They are kind of, you will say, successful in life. You will think that when you join the secret society, you like automatically there's a deity that is giving them money or prosperity. It is because of the knowledge they are teaching them inside the secret societies, and they are actively applying those knowledge to their life, so they become successful in every field that they are, coupled with the fact that they know a lot of people, they make a lot of connections inside the secret societies, so they can be able to know people to do business with. But they teach them this our African spirituality, these hermetic principles, hermetism. They teach them all this stuff inside the secret societies, so they know how to apply it to make their life move further. Okay, so now you need to start studying this stuff, study these principles, and try to be applying them into your life so that your life can also be more productive as well. Okay, this is the essence of this. In fact, the so-called Greek philosophy based on Hermetism, the Greeks, when they came to Egypt, they learned these Hermetic principles and they took it back to their country, and then they create a false deity called Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes Trismegistus is the Greek deity that is a caricature of Thoth. Okay, so they now claimed many of the achievements of Thoth, the Atlantean, the Egyptian gods. They are now carrying those achievements and writings and now giving it to this their Hermes in order to make it look like it was their deity that originated these writings. So you see what these white people are doing. When I always say on this channel that white people, they are predominantly thieves, people think I'm insulting them. I am not insulting them. I am describing them. Almost everything they have is stolen. The so-called Greek philosophy we are hearing today. When you go to universities, the first thing that we tell you in history class is civilization started in Greece. Civilization started in Greece. This is what they're teaching all over Africa, even outside Africa, that Africans know nothing. When you begin to pieces Greece, go into Greece in details, you will discover that all Greek philosophers came to study in Egypt, came to study in Africa, from Pythagoras to Socrates to Strabo to Herodotus to Aristotle is the worst. Aristotle is a pure plagiarist. It's the worst of all. He just came to Alexandria, brought him to Egypt. He came and they actually rooted the Library of Alexandria. They took it back to Europe, and Aristotle started putting his name on all the writings. Within 2 years, they say he wrote more than 1,000 manuscripts. He was just putting his name on them, that he wrote them. The guy is the biggest thief of all these people, and they are abominable people. So you need to be careful with why people they steal a lot and they are not ashamed and they don't repent. They are psychopaths and sociopaths. People that will steal, then they will now feel that there's no moral compass inside them. They're still teaching these lies today. So this Hermes Trismegistus, the meaning of Trismegistus, they say Hermes the thrice great, three times great, is an imaginary character. He never existed. It was a phantom that was created by Greek people so that they can steal the achievement of Thoth the Atlantean from ancient Egypt, ancient Africa, and pass it on to this guy like it's their own thing. So you see how they steal this thing. They create a phantom deity. They now carry thought writing and now attribute them. Now they are claiming that Hermes is responsible for this Copus Hermetica, for these seven Hermetic principles, and a lot more other things. The way this the format or the foundation that the ancient Greeks created to steal our knowledge and create their deities, this is the same format that Western occultism is using today. The so-called Western occultism that you are hearing about, where you see them promoting so many bastard spirits in their gotias. These are spirits that we cannot trace their origin. A lot of them in the artist gotia or the goetia, they are so-called magic books, or they were all imaginations of Western occultists. They imagine these deities, created these phantoms, and then they steal characters of, or they steal achievement of authentic deities. They steal the achievements of authentic deities and they pass it on to these characters. Before you know, one or two people will start expanding on these phantom characters. They're not claiming to be real thing. They are not real thing. So this Hermes Trismegistus is not a real person, okay? But you're going to see a lot of books are attributed to him this day, and you will think it's a real deity. The original deity is Jehuti. If you want knowledge, you want prosperity, you go to Jehuti directly, you go to Thoth directly, it will still teach you. Now, they also got this deity they called Mercury. In fact, they started with Mercury. They give Jehuti's qualities to the deity they called Mercury, and they also pass it on to Hermes as well. Now we have two. If you go to Western occultism, you will hear of the deity called Phocalos or Mephisto or Lucifuge Rofocal. These are some so-called demons that some Western occultists created out of the firmament of their imagination, and then they now kind of associate the qualities of Thoth to these so-called demons in order to create something new in their minds. They just distort this deity and then they carry his character, they put in this phantom that they created, and they claim that this is the deity, the nature of the deity, and people run with that. A lot of Western people will just be running with this imagination, claiming that it's a real thing. So nowadays, if you study Western occultism, you hear of a deity called Phocalo, a powerful great duke of hell, commanding 3 to 30 legions, blah blah blah. The next thing you hear that one of his archdemons, Lucifuge Rofocal, his second name anagram of Phocalos. This is what you're going to see is very confusing with these people, because they are trying to create phantom deities, and a lot of people now are thinking that these phantom deities are actually real spirits, but they are not real spirits. They are just the firmament of imagination of some mad magician or wannabe occultists that want to become an expert. So in order for them to become an expert, they need to create something that is new. Create something that is new, create something from imagination, then attribute the qualities of something that is real to it. Now, what you're going to find is that so-called modern-day Western occultists, because it's a business now, they are now calling Jehuti, as in Lucifuge Rofocal, as the prime minister of hellfire. Okay, they are saying that this guy is the prime minister of hell. Now, I don't know that hell have a president. If hell have a prime minister, then hell must have a cabinet. So, who is the president? They're claiming that Lucifer is the president of hell. And we know that Lucifer is a caricature of Amen-Ra. Now they come to Egypt again. They're now calling Jehuti because Jehuti is the god of writing, god of wisdom, god of magic and spiritual knowledge. They are saying is the scribe of the Infernal Empire. This is the title they're calling Jehuti, as in Lucifuge Rofocal, that is the prime minister of hellfire. So if he's the prime minister, who is the vice president? Who is the PRO officer? Who is the welfare officer? We need to know all the rest, but they are not saying about it. Nobody is talking. Maybe another maggots, occultists have not have the boldness yet to proclaim one nonsense. Then all the rest one we rally behind him. So we are still waiting to know the demon that is the PRO of hellfire. I am waiting to know their welfare officer so that I can go and talk to him. We are waiting for one mad one to come out with the boldness to talk this trash, because they do this trash from time to time. So we see a deity they're calling Lucifuge Rofocal today. They are using this deity to threaten people that this deity is an evil deity, very terrible deity. This deity, I have invoked this deity during my practice of Western occultism. What they are saying that is the deity is not the deity, okay? It is not it. It is a phantom. Nowadays, they are passing a very ugly, grotesque, and horrible creature. If you see the picture, this is what they are now showing you as Lucifuge Rofocal, which is clearly a parliament of the imagination of a twisted son of a bitch. So they are calling this Lucifuge Rofocal as the most terrible deity in all the pantheon of hell that they created for themselves by themselves. Okay, so this pantheon was a creator of phantom, a creation of phantom deities that they try to attach original deities to. So Western occultism is not something for black people. It is something that if you want to study it, you can never complete the study because it is based on falsehood. And something that is based on falsehood, you will never get any truth out of it because it will just be taking you on a ride that will never end, a merry-go-ride that will end up in a waste of time, waste of energy, total waste of your resources. So Western occultism is something that we should, as African people, should take with a pinch of salt. It is for mad people and people that are trying to steal from Africans that don't want to go straight to the source. I have done a video about this very thing. I noticed you need to watch my video. I'll put the link simulacra and simulation. When I expanded on the fakery and forkery of Western occultism, you'll find out that it's filled with a lot of bastard deities. Then authentic deities are distorted. How do I know this? Because I have practiced it. When you summoned these deities the way they say you should summon it, I did not get any results. Rather, my results were different. In my practice during the time, I made contact with a lot of these Western occultists in order to learn to see if there is any truth in what they are saying. I actually did this practice for some years. I bought their books. I read. I did the summoning of this so-called Lucifuge Rofocal. I did not see any ugly, twisted, half goat, half man, smelling demon. The way they describe it, these people, they lie a lot. I didn't see it. Rather, what I saw was totally different. It was a man, a black man that I saw, dressed up in a suit like 50 Cent. And we had a very good conversation. I did not see any twisted demon, no. A lot of these people that are claiming to be masters of this so-called Western occultism, many of them are bloody liars. They will claim that they are doing wet packs. When I got to know many of them, I discovered that I was even more richer than a lot of them. I have more money than them. I discovered many of them don't even have house in America. They were paying mortgages. And these people are claiming that they were rolling with demons of wealth, but they're paying mortgages in their house. I was even living in a better house in Nigeria than many of these son of a bitch. So I was like, these demons that you're claiming to be giving people's wealth, are they not giving you wealth? And some of them were even living in homeless shelter. I was so shocked. I said, wow, oh God. Now, wow. You will find out that a lot of these people, they just come on YouTube, they just tell life from morning till night. If you try to go into their personal life, it is zero. You will discover that the person is a bloody drug addict. When I mean drug addict, so it's a chronic junkie that must take drugs every day. This is what the kind of people I discovered, a lot of them in Western occultism. I discovered a lot of them are also racists. Racist people and people that oh no, the worst. You know what they say, dredges, the dredges of society. I discovered a lot of them are dredges of society. Then a lot of them are just scam boys and girls that want to make money, want to prove they are expert in something that cannot be validated. So there's a lot of fake spirits, a lot of phantom deities that you cannot trace to anywhere, because they know that if it's something you can trace, they cannot make money from it, and you cannot easily deceive people because people know the characteristic of the spirit you're talking about. But if you create your own spirit from nowhere, then you can have total control of that spirit, because nobody can be able to disprove you. It is your own imagination. So that's why we see a lot of grimoires popping up and down with spirits we cannot trace to anywhere. Then they give them powerful descriptions that we want to make you want to try to make contact with this deity, promise you a lot of things, and then they sell you the books. And then they start manipulating you through the phantom deity. You didn't do it like this, do it like this, you didn't do it like this. You keep spending money on the firmament of imagination of somebody. It is all a scam. Okay, this is why I tell people you need to focus on organic deities. Many of those grimoires that you see popping out are good for one thing: bonfire. They are good for burning fire. Same way the Bible is good for burning fire or tissue paper. Many of these grimoires are good for tissue papers. Okay, nothing will happen. You can use it to wipe your ass. No demon will do you anything. It's just fake stuff that somebody concocted to use to hoodwink you. You need to be very careful of this. If you want to make contact with deities, go straight to the original copy of that deity. Go straight to the source. If you want wisdom, prosperity, go straight to Jehuti. He's the God of wisdom. He is still here today. He has never changed. Okay, anything they tell you, Focados, Mephisto, Lucifuge Rofocal, are just the firmament of the imagination of somebody that is a crook, a twisted beast, and a thief. Okay? You need to know all these things. That's why you need to take this practice serious, so that you don't waste time and years studying things that have no ending. The people will just be laughing in their minds, think you are studying occultism. They just put you on a roller coaster and they keep claiming to be masters because they know that you're never going to get to the end of the road. They created this shit. They know the beginning and the end, you know nothing. All the wisdom of the ancient world is attributed to Jehuti. There's a lot of books written on the guy. Everybody from the whole world, they study the wisdom of ancient Africa. So you should not throw away your wisdom for some phantom deity that you cannot trace to anywhere. It is the height of stupidity to throw away something that is authentic for something that is fake. Okay, somebody come to you, take your original stuff, then he give you fake stuff to represent it. No, you should stick with what you have. Don't let anybody tell you that what you have is not good enough. Okay, tell them you monkey not fine, but your mama like him. We go take her like that now. Our stuff, it belongs to us. We don't want any improvement or modification. Okay, Jehuti still remains Jehuti, and it reigns forever. Okay, so you need to know this. I need to bring this video out today. And Jehuti and Anubis are totally different. Now some people are writing some trash that Jehuti have the responsibility of the dead of Anubis, the deity that's in charge of dead. Jehuti is not in charge of the Nether Realm, it's not in charge of the dead, it's in charge of wisdom, writing. Okay, Anubis is in charge of the dead realm. They are totally different deity with different responsibility. They are not the same. They are not mixed. They are not connected. You need to know that it is clear. When you come to our Patreon, all the spirits and their functions are very, very clear. So don't let some white maggot come and be writing trash for us, okay? This is part of the reason we need to kick these people out of African spirituality, because many of them are just here to whitewash it, same way they are stealing our artifacts in Egypt and whitewashing it. They are just here to do the same thing with their pen, so they are not to be trusted. So you need to study about Jehuti. You need to read the Copus Hermetica. You need to read the Emery tablets. These books are free to download on the internet. When you see they are writing that is M's, that just know that it's a lie. It's not M's. It is all from ancient Egypt. It is all works of Jehuti. They are passing to this guy called M's. Okay, so you need to get into your stuff. You're going to learn a lot of things. There's a lot of power in this book, and the power is going to liberate you. Part of the reason they are hiding these things from Africa for years, secret societies have been teaching these things secretly. Persecution, Freemasons, they have been teaching. This is the core body of their teaching. Okay, Hermetic Principles. I hope that you learned something from this video. Questions and comments are welcome as usual. Sensible comments. Any comment trying to promote Christianity will be banned. Any comment trying to talk trash will be banned. If you want to do spiritual work, you know where to find me. My number is on the screen. If you want to still read more, I have written a book on science and spirituality, from a quantum physics perspective. Many of the things I talk on this channel, they are already in that book. Okay, you can also contact me. I will sell the book for you. Okay, then my website is there for people that want to learn African spirituality, kindoki.net. I'm still waiting for you guys. So with that being said, I wish you a very, very wonderful weekend, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. So take care and bye. Peace.